show started, okay? Y'all better be hitting that like button. I'm tired of telling y'all, all right? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Remember, everything's allegedly. Even my motherfucking name is allegedly. Y'all better be hitting the wine glass. And it better have water in it, okay? It better have water in it. We still officially detoxing, okay, on the app. I ain't say break nothing yet. Not yet. Give yourself a few days, okay, before you start bringing the wine and stuff back in, especially all that hard work y'all done lost on TashaKLive.com. Boy, we had people losing 20 pounds, 14 pounds, 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Hey, y'all. What is going on? Oh, y'all in here heavy, okay? Please show some love by hitting the like button or dislike if you hit a wine down or wine, okay? We here for both, all right? We got one dramatic show for y'all tonight, okay? We actually got 2 shows, all right? So we got this show, okay, that's going to feature Nene Leakes in her newest reality show, Shindig, as well as Megan. Is she pregnant? We're going to talk about that. Megan Thee Stallion, okay? Is she pregnant by party? All right? Miss Latto, Julia Fox, and if you are coming from our second channel, Winos Podcast, you guys just see me live with the one and only Hassan Campbell. Y'all actually pissed me off in that live, okay? So much so I had to end it a lot earlier than I wanted to. I'm still feeling salty about that live, but hopefully tonight we will gain some balance, okay? We can agree to disagree, but the way y'all was acting over there laughing at that man after he shared that he was, touched at 15 years old, I'm like, how we gonna have justice for Lavontre Andrews, but yet y'all laughing at him talking about, someone violating him at 15 years old. So y'all really hit a nerve with that one, okay? And being that I'm detoxing and I'm not trying to, drag nobody or go in, I'm on my coffee and my water as well as my smoothies. I'm not going to go there with y'all today. I'm not, all right? All right, excuse the studio. We are going through a little transition. I know I look tighter than usual because we're doing some stuff in the back, all right? So, but we'll fix that later, okay, on another live. So just bear with us. All right, so real quick, before we get into Julia Fox, Megan Thee Stallion, Nene Leakes, Hassan Campbell, and much more, and on TashaKLive.com after the show, okay, we're going to be talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z and this bodyguard, okay? That's making all sorts of allegations, as well as Mr. Sammy. All right. Whoa Vicky, influencer Whoa Vicky. Y'all know the white girl that talk like a black girl and stuff like that, and y'all be dragging her for that, but she really do talk like that. You guys know that she was in a relationship with a young man that we interviewed about a month ago, Holy Gabbana, okay? And she unfortunately has him on video admitting to putting hands on her, okay? And we're going to release all that on TashaKLive.com after, okay, this live, after the Hassan Campbell interview ends, okay? So stay tuned for that. But wow, you guys are still coming up in here, okay, and liking this video. You guys know that we got to show love to our sponsors as well as let y'all know what's going to be coming up next or what has been released on TashaKLive.com. And so without further ado, we got some sponsors that we need to brag about, which means boldly raise a glass too, and y'all better be liking this video. I'm gonna come through the screen and I'm gonna poke you with this fork, okay? Let's go.
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order.
What is it that you do for a living? So I had a 12-year career as a university administrator at HBCUs in North Carolina.
Where did you go to school for?
A Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies and kind of focusing on race, class, and culture.
Okay.
And then I have a master's of public administration.
So you've worked with lots of college students, or just minors in general. Reed is adamant about you guys knowing each other and you having a relationship with him, and he knows you because you're gay.
We're a family where it's only bishops and ministers and pastors and everybody's in the church. And it's that thing here in the South that it's just, it's just certain things you don't talk about.
And so they go over to Reed's house, and then he goes upstairs with Reed, and she stays downstairs.
Yeah. And so now that it's gotten to this point, he can't run from the truth. And he's had every opportunity to acknowledge. And I think most time victims just want, like, I know what happened to me. You telling me this ain't happened, like I'm stupid, like I'm crazy. This is classic sexual assault speak. You remember the door being cracked, you remember what's on the TV, sounds, because you're checked out of the moment. And these things, you go right back into those spaces.
That was a really, really, really chilling interview, okay? That is part 3 to our PPP series, okay? Part 4 will be coming up here this Sunday. That was actually Lavontre Andrews' oldest brother, okay? He is, in fact, a part of the LGBTQ. When he came to sit in to really offer us some insight on his relationship with his brother and what he knew, since he was the second person to know what happened to his brother, and was the one that really just kind of put everything out there, okay? And he backed it up with his education. I mean, he's highly educated. He's worked with people who have been victims of this type of thing before in the past. And so when his brother came to him, he knew exactly how to handle that, okay? Within reason, being that Lavontre is not his son, is in fact his brother. But he did, basically shift into gear to really try to, get the ball rolling to help his brother to deal with this. And he's been the one that's been beside his brother throughout the last 13 years, handling this situation here, okay? And so if you haven't seen it, it is on TashaKLive.com. And we will be releasing it. It'll just be a few days from now, okay? But it'll only be a small portion, the important parts, all right? But if you want the full interview, I do highly recommend that you go over to TashaKLive.com and watch it, all right? Let's go ahead and get into this. Julia Fox, okay? All right, so the reason we have her between Drake and Kanye, because I think it's very important, all right? Because they are the ones that made her famous, okay? All of the other billionaires that this 2-movie actress has claimed that she's been with, she hasn't found it. I guess they don't have enough clout, per se, these imaginary billionaires that she's been with, besides Kanye. Drake is on his way there, to blast on the internet. So she's been using this Kanye and this Birkin bag and Drake, because Drake, has a habit of going behind or in front of Kanye. They all share, at this point, they should all be swingers, if you ask me, since they just rotating the same women around. But what was interesting is, her doing several interviews to detail, her luxurious shindig and romantic shortcoming with Mr. Kanye West, and the Birkin that he gave her, the Birkin that she protected with her entire life until somebody took a machete to it, okay? And so when she decided to give us an apartment tour, and this is where I want all, listen, especially if you're a young girl and you watching my show right now, I'm gonna need you to watch this very carefully, okay? Because this is what you not supposed to do. This right here, what you're going to see is the law of attraction in full effect, okay? What you are going to see is the power of the tongue in full effect. And I'm not talking about the power in her tongue, okay, in order to attract these billionaires and superstars like Drake and Kanye. But I want to show you how your tongue can work for you and can work against you, okay? Let's show them, Julia Fox, shall we? Let's go. Let's see if y'all can figure this out here.
Okay, I never thought in a million years that I would do this, but I do believe in maximum transparency. And so I'm going to give you guys an apartment tour. And I know I'm going to get roasted and whatever, but hopefully maybe someone can watch this and be like, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing so bad. So we can start in my bedroom, which is the living room. So yeah, I put my bed here in the living room so I could turn my bedroom into a little playroom for Valentino. I know I have that clothing rack there that I really need to get rid of, but this is my little grow station where nothing is growing because we don't know what we're doing. And then this is just a very long hallway. Nothing happens here, just more, it's Valentino's little daycare schedule, just more stuff. Richie, I love these photos. And this is just my little bathroom. It's very tiny, but you know, it does what it's supposed to do. And this is Valentino's little kitchen area. And this is my kitchen area. Don't judge me. I know, oh, cotton candy machine. I know it's really messy. I also have shoe boxes in the kitchen, which is very common for New Yorkers. This is Valentino's room. I put the most effort in this room, I think. I put a little loft, and I really wanted him to have a cute room. Anyway, that's the whole apartment. And we're back in this room. For me personally, I don't like excessive displays of wealth. They make me feel icky, you know, especially people that have really big houses. It's just really wasteful when there's so many homeless people in this country. And like, I'm not really like that. Yeah, we do have a little small mouse problem, but you know, it's a problem depending on how you look at it. You know, I kind of let them rock. I appreciate that they at night while we're sleeping come out and clean up the crumbs that my son drops on the floor.
You know, this is Valentino's little play area. Valentino has his own kitchen while I have my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? His room is clean. My room is nasty. And that's why I can get none of these billionaires to stay. And one, you know, listen, obviously you can learn a lot, okay, from Miss Julia Fox. One, she's very natural, okay? Very, very, very natural, okay? If anybody does deserve cosmetic procedures, you know what I'm saying, I would say that she would be a great candidate for it, okay? And as you can see, if she's able to pull a Drake or a Kanye or these imaginary billionaires that buy her Birkins and things, but don't necessarily want to buy a house or fix the mouse problem, you have got to just take a step back, okay, before you make any appointments to alter your bodies, young girls, okay, or any sort of devaluing of self so that you can be in rooms, okay, that you feel that you deserve to be in, okay? Because if you look at the Pal Gal, you're going to see that she is herself, for that matter. And when I say herself, I mean herself. I mean, let's just, I mean, it was just so many things wrong with this video. Now, there's nothing wrong with where she lives, okay? 90% of Americans live like that. Hell, I used to live like that. I used to have rats this big, okay? I couldn't leave bread or potatoes or cereal out. I would have to eat the cereal before my rats got to it. You know what I'm saying? The rats was so bad, my grandmother had to bring outdoor cats into the house, and we could not touch the cats because the cats ate the rats for breakfast. When we ate bacon and eggs, you know what I'm saying? You know, the cats was on the floor in the kitchen, and we would look down, and they would be eating rats, okay? And we could not touch or pet cats. That's why I don't understand how people got pet cats to this day, okay? And neither does Azalea Banks, because she cooks them. Right, now, she doesn't see them as pets either. But this is undoubtedly the worst and best way to speak for yourself and against yourself, okay? Because she's managed to get herself into rooms, to get, you know, 2 movie roles, to get a Birkin, to get connected to stars like this without altering anything or even cleaning her house, for that matter, okay? She ain't even got a headboard, let alone making up the bed, washing the baseboards around the bed. She ain't done nothing, okay? And yet you got women that make appointment after appointment. You steady talking down on thyself. You're worried about things that don't matter because you trying to get the things, okay? You trying to get to the things that she denounces in the same breath. I don't understand how you gonna date billionaires and you protected that one Birkin with your life and even came online and started crying, Julia Fox, when somebody sliced that Birkin that Kanye got you for your birthday with a machete. You didn't even know how to act. I mean, you gave the Birkin every podcast platform that you was on. You talked about that Birkin, okay? You bragged about your relationship with Drake because that was a dig at Kanye after he done gave you a Birkin that he probably got for free as a sponsorship to keep you giving him just to look at, because she was in fact transition cat for Kanye, okay? And so man, it's just too much. It's just too much. I didn't even want to drag her like this. I really didn't want to drag her like this, but I had to. And then she has the audacity to say that she loves, billionaires in interviews, and she only dates billionaires. Is who, you know what I'm saying? That's all she's attracted to. That's all who's attracted to her. But in the same tongue that she uses to suck off said billionaire, she wants to speak down on the billionaire's lifestyle, although she feeds that lifestyle, okay? The very intimate part of them. It's a small section that she fits in, and I'm just like, and you wonder why they haven't moved you out of your rat infestation. Because ain't no way I'm going to be a single mother. I'm going to be laid up with him, and him. And combined, that's about $10-20 billion. I think at one point they even said that she even dated Elon Musk, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that was a rumor. I can't confirm or deny that. Okay, so she definitely understands how to put herself in those rooms, okay, as natural as possible, looking as natural as possible, which should tell you that men of this caliber love, okay, women that are as natural as possible. Scratch that last part. I just had to look at Drake and Kanye for a second, and I had to go back at their last few not good examples, okay? But we're talking about the white men. Definitely the white men, okay? Even Arabs too, because I'm sure she's been over there in Dubai. It just does not make any sense, okay? And this is one way that your tongue can be used to speak for you and against you, because ain't no fucking way. Okay, I'm going to be laid up with Am Billionaire, and I got to go back and walk to a house where I got to go like this through the hallway. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. There's no way. Sorry. No way. Ladies and gentlemen, power, life, and death lie in thy tongue, okay? Moving on. Woo! Moving on. Now, I guess people are just, just like we're hearing these elaborate stories of, people asking boyfriends to pee on them and, come on fries. When we see someone's, first of all, Latto, the reason I'm saying it like this is because I'm trying to back you up so you can understand where I'm going with this, okay? Latto is a rapper. Nothing more, nothing less, okay? I don't think Latto is the type of rapper that has made a great impact on rap as a whole. I don't think there's anything memorable that Latto has done to the point to where it would cause people to be like, just, oh my God, Latto. Like, it's not that. I want to call her like a filler rapper. If you ask me, I think Sweetie has made more of an impact than Latto, okay? And so, after, and I have to look at people's motives, you know what I'm saying? I have to look at why they do certain things that they do. And I'm trying to figure out why on earth would Latto's panties be on eBay. How did they get there? Whose idea was it to take off her panties? Think for a second. Her leopard print panties, okay? Whose idea was it to slide off the panties? I pray to God she washed the panties. And then she said, I'm going to put my panties on eBay. Whose idea was it? I know it wasn't 21 Savage's. He denounced the panties. He don't want the panties no more. So now she's trying to give the panties away, okay? And so the panties are now up to $80,000, okay, on eBay right now. Now, I did a little digging. Not in her ass or her panties, okay? But I went and I saw the bids, right? Because I want to know who's bidding on panties from Latto. Like, this is not an asset. Who is bidding? First, whose idea was it to put the panties on eBay? I don't think it was nobody's but hers. And when I went to eBay to look at the bids, it came in from two different people. And the bid started off very, very high, okay? Normally a bid will start off maybe $50, a couple $100. This bid started off $15,000, which makes me think, because the only way you can get said panties on eBay is if you put them on eBay. You understand what I'm saying? For her, because who's saying, I want Latto's panties, right? And even if they said they wanted your panties, you thought it was just a great idea to just take the panties off, probably hand wash them in the sink, take a picture of them, put the panties on eBay, bid on your own panties to get the bids going, and there's literally only two bids going back and forth. Two bids. Now, I can't prove that the account is hers, but in order for them to get up there and who's going to ship said panties, they got to come from Latto, because I don't see her business manager, her mama, her boyfriend, her personal assistant, anybody mailing Latto's panties that she done had on, okay, in the mail. Taking them, folding them, shipping them off. Lord knows what done spilt in those panties or leaked in those panties, and shipping them to some unknown source. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Think, people. Think. When Nicki Minaj's nail was on eBay, it was on eBay because she lost the press-on stage. Somebody picked it up. They put it on eBay. I believe there was a time when she lost her hair. Okay? A piece of her wig. They had her hair on eBay. Nicki didn't do this. The fans did this. So what fan did you give your panties to? Because I don't remember you giving your panties to anybody. I don't even remotely hearing a fan saying that they received your panties and they are not about to go on auction. You did that. You desperate. And what? $80,000 for some Victoria's Secret panties? She don't even get paid $80K to do shows. We're talking about an artist that was excited when somebody bought her a $200,000 car. But you're telling me that your panties are worth $80,000 and you started the bid on the panties and there's only two people bidding on said panties, which makes me think you bidding against yourself, because that's an account you created when you decided that you wanted to create value within yourself, and this is the way that you chose to do it. Girl, stop. See, this is why they don't like me on the internet. I'm telling you. I'm just calling it for what I see it. Who? We can't even remember a real song of hers. The only song we remember is Big Energy, and that's Mariah Carey. So, who? And just by the way her face said, she looks as if she just contracting the muscles to push everything out in them panties that y'all supposedly, allegedly paying $80,000 for, which I don't believe at all. She gonna be mailing her panties back to herself. Moving on. Go look. All you gotta do is go look on eBay. It's only 2 bidders. And the first bid at $15,000, the fans will tell you who their account belong to. Lord, oh, so Megan Thee Stallion, she's not allowed to take a Plan B. She's a resident of Houston. Okay. I got this story across my desk during the trial. Apparently, she was going to use it instead of the Forbes story in order to get people to, I guess, give her some type of sympathy in this Tory Lanez case. And this was a way for her to kind of, soften people or people's opinions towards her if they were to know that she was pregnant. Now, I cannot confirm or deny if she's pregnant or not. I would hope not. Okay? Reason being is because this is too soon. I'll tell you like this. If a man truly loved you and you at the top of your career, listen, and you don't have the type of money or stats that like some of these established artists do, you're not gonna come back from that. There's a few rappers we can name right now who hasn't. For a woman, unfortunately, it is very different. You're not going to be able to work as much, drop albums, one song here and there, no tours. So I don't think just when she's just at the brink of doing a world tour, that she's going to allow herself to become pregnant out of sympathy. Now, the Roc Nation's brunch is coming up, and she is going to attend that brunch. Now, if she wearing big clothes, then we know. She don't let this. Why? Why? Somebody tell her why. No. You. And I know she about ready to settle down because of all the dragging that social media has done to her and her little cat, because it's been everywhere. So I get it. She's just trying to settle down. But listen, this is the wrong move here. This man has not married you, not proposed to you. He already has baby mamas, and ain't no way, if Lord forbid anything happens to Party and somebody try to take his one chain, that I'm going to be fighting with another baby mama over assets and who rightfully gets those assets. That's the position that you put yourself in when you do that. When you have babies with men who already got babies with other women. You're on the same level as those women. You're not above because you don't have the Social Security number. And when he transitions, his mother is the only person that has any say-so over what happens to him. So I pray she didn't let him nut in her. I hope she took her Plan B. I really do. And I hope to God that she is not going to sacrifice her world tour for what she think is love. Because we ain't seen this man during the trial. All we saw was an Instagram post saying, please protect black women. No, you were supposed to protect her. You were supposed to protect her when they was making these songs about her. You were supposed to protect her when they was dragging her across social media. But all you want to do is take to your story. We got other men that ain't even sleeping with her that's coming on camera, doing interviews, calling out these rappers, calling out everybody that's dragging her. But what you doing? You dragging her cooch. Because that's all that matters to you. Party. You just want to party. So, but we will find out, in fact, if the rumors are true when the Roc Nation brunch, at the Roc Nation brunch, okay? And so I'm sure that you'll get the confirmation there. And if she's wearing big clothes, then we know. It is definitely against the law for her to do anything to a heartbeat, okay? At all. And knowing her, this is her comfort zone, okay? So probably having a baby, she's probably telling herself that, I need love. I need somebody to love me. I need somebody to love me unconditionally. I mean, this is, especially given the trauma that she's gone through and endured through social media. Like I could kind of see her doing this. And would I be surprised? Absolutely not. I just hope that it's just not him. That one. Okay? I don't like it. Moving on. All right, y'all better be hitting that like button. All right. Miss Nene. Hey, how you doing? Okay. Nene did an interview to confirm that her son was in fact not gay, okay? That he was just doing a TikTok challenge, all right? I don't think anybody ever thought that Brent was gay. And if they were, we wouldn't be surprised at all, and so it's really not a big deal at all. So her coming to confirm that as if she's like, oh, I'm the cool parent and I wouldn't care. No, she sat down for that interview quite fast to let the world know that her son wasn't gay, okay? And if he was, I wouldn't care. To just be like, me putting ice cubes in my coffee and nothing more, nothing less, okay? And so we're going to clear that up. But I did want to talk about something that was rather interesting because Nene decided to speak on the Real Housewives of Atlanta as if she could speak on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now everybody's watching the show tank, okay? And that's mainly because of Kandi. They refuse to get rid of Kandi. You get rid of Kandi, your show will revive itself, okay? Y'all got Kandi making calls as an executive producer, and I don't care how many skits she does, I don't care how many shows she does, I don't care how many sex toys that she sells, restaurants she opens. It's just not interesting. It's just not interesting anymore. Okay. And so we need people who push the envelope, and Nene is one of those. Okay. And for her to sit down to say that, she's not going to be returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We knew that. They told you could not come back when you threatened to sue, when they cut your hours. We knew that is nothing that we did not know. Okay. And she's talking as if the ball was in her court, as if she had an opportunity to return. No, you couldn't. Candy's there. Candy said no. She's number one, not you. All right? Now, this new show, this is where I get petty. This new show, I just don't understand why Nene has spent so long trying to advocate and push herself on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they didn't want her. And meanwhile, they've been trying to create a show that could have been surrounded and starring her. Like, she just kind of missed a huge opportunity. I think there's still a door open for this particular show, but from what I got, you know what I'm saying? Listen, it would have been perfect for her. The Real Mistresses of Atlanta. They had one in Charlotte, the Real Side Chicks of Charlotte. They was trying to bring it to Atlanta, but they're not side chicks in Atlanta. They're mistresses at this age, okay? But I think she would have been perfect in Charlotte, since the man that she's laying up with is somebody else's husband. And that's why she's being sued right now for alienation of affection. Okay? And paying for a lawsuit, even though this man is not yet divorced. Didn't even think about filing for divorce until 2023. And so while she's looking over here thinking that she's still a housewife is here. A housewife is here. Greg said no. Greg left and said no more. And then you decided to follow suit and become a mistress. That's here. So yes, Nene, that ship has sailed. That door is closed. And the only door that you can walk through that people will be rather interested in, whether you produce it or allow these people to pay you to see what you and somebody else's husband lives like behind the scenes, is the Real Mistresses of Atlanta. You're downgraded. Your ego got too big and you're downgraded. You devalue you. They don't let mistresses alter the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You either single, they even take the ones with fake husbands, but not other people's husbands. Moving on. We got some sponsors that we need to brag about. After the break, we got Hassan Campbell, which means Bowley raise a glass to y'all. Better like this video. We'll be back after the break. Let's go.
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much, much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat, because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health, because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order.
What is it that you do for a living?
So I had a 12-year career as a university administrator at HBCUs in North Carolina.
Where did you go to school for?
A Bachelor of Arts and Liberal Studies, and kind of focusing on race, class, and culture.
Okay.
And then I have a Master's of Public Administration.
So you've worked with lots of college students, or just minors in general. Reed is adamant about you guys knowing each other and you having a relationship with him, and he knows you because you're gay.
And we're a family where it's only bishops and ministers and pastors and everybody's in the church. And it's that thing here in the South that it's just, it's just certain things you don't talk about.
And so they go over to Reed's house, and then he goes upstairs with Reed, and she stays downstairs.
Yeah. And so now that it's gotten to this point, he can't run from the truth. And he's had every opportunity to acknowledge. And I think most time victims just want, like, I know what happened to me. You telling me this ain't happened, like I'm stupid, like I'm crazy. This is classic sexual assault speak. You remember the door being cracked, you remember what's on the TV sounds, because you're checked out of the moment. And these things, you go right back into those spaces.
All right, and we're back. Get your wine glasses ready, okay? Now, before we play this interview from Hassan Campbell, who was very, very gracious enough to come and sit down and really explain a lot of things that led up to African Bambaataa here, okay? One of the leaders of Zulu Nation, one of the biggest hip-hop empires, and really kind of had a hand in getting, a lot of the New York hip-hop started. He came forward to detail a very graphic and just horrifying story involving him being violated as a child by this man here, okay? Now, I know Hassan Campbell is extremely controversial and things like that, but when I asked him to join my show, to offer clarity, okay? To offer some insight, because once someone tells you their story, okay, you are now able to understand why they make the decisions that they make. A lot of times we want to skip the important parts, and we think that people just wake up, like this. Okay? And so I know we did our pre-live on Wino's podcast, and like I said, I was highly upset with y'all with how y'all acted and just laughed at someone who said that they were victimized by someone at the age of 15, which makes them a minor. I don't know. I just don't know. It's like, in one hand, you feel like some people deserve it, which is really just kind of, I don't know. You got to check yourself as a person. And then on the other hand, it's like you kind of pick and choose who you want to, I don't know, I guess support based off of comments that are made. And it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna have to dive a little deeper into the psychology of that, because that makes no sense to me. Okay, and so I'm very honored that Hassan Campbell was willing to sit down and open up about a lot of personal stuff that he's never shared before ever on any interview that he's done, and including on his channel. Okay, and it's hard for Black men to want to be vulnerable like this and to open up, because they know that people are going to turn around and use it against them and laugh at them and shame them for it. And that's why a lot of Black men take their trauma with them, you know what I'm saying, to the grave, or even more so, that trauma comes out in other ways. because they're not able to, to get it out. And so I want to thank him, whether or not, I just want to thank him just for being vulnerable enough to even sit through an interview with me and be honest the way that he was, and even call out his own mom, his own dad. I mean, it was just horrifying what he detailed, and even what led up to him being violated by African Bambaataa, which is not a secret, okay? Which is not a secret at all. And this is not the first person that's accused African Bambaataa of violating them as a child, okay? And so everybody knew, but no one would say anything. Now, before we get this interview started, I did want to tell you that after this interview, I'm going to come back because we are going to do the second part of our show on TashaKLive.com, okay? We're going to be talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z and this bodyguard that's came forward to make some very, very egregious allegations against the couple, as well as P. Diddy as well. And we're also going to be discussing, who else are we going to be discussing? I can't even think right now. I don't have my notes in front of me. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I just want to tell y'all who's coming up. I know we're going to be talking about Sammy paying strippers to run butt naked through the woods like Blair Witch Project. Akon and Joe Budden. And we also got some exclusive video from Miss Wovicki. Okay, from Miss Wovicki. She was able to record Holy Gabbana, someone who we gave a lot of grace to on our platform, admitting to hitting her and abusing her in video, okay? And so we're going to be talking about that as well, along with a few other things, okay? And so y'all get ready for that. Please like this video. I'm going to go ahead and start this interview, and when we're done, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to let y'all know what time we're going to be starting the live on TashaKLive.com, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, Hassan Campbell! Hassan Campbell! Listen, we got you. Well, I wish we had you in South Florida, but I said, you know what? I got to make this interview happen with you. I'm going to make it happen. Do you know I've been trying to do an interview with you? Star called me when I was pregnant 3 years ago. You know the Star Report?
We spoke to each other around that time.
We did. He gave me your number. He was like, you really got to talk to this Hassan guy. He's on it. He just exposed African Bambaataa and all them. You got to talk to him. And then we ended up talking. And of course, I had all that R. Kelly shit going on. Did my lawsuit. And then I was pregnant. Okay. And so I think we just lost contact. And then until me and you somehow it finally was in the cards. Cheers.
And we are here.
It looked like you getting sleepy from that African food you just ate. We just gave you a big ass plate.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm good though. Shall we begin?
You good?
Shall we begin?
So yes, we're gonna begin. So I told you look, you give your opinion on so many people, right? And you've been on the internet just blasting. I'm talking about you don't hold back. Like, you remind me of, like, the male version of myself, but just a little bit harder. Like, you go into territories I would never go in. I'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't carry no gun or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's like, the time for me to do it about face. But, like, I wanted to just have a foundational conversation with you, like, you know, so people can really, really get to see you, so they can connect with you more on a, okay, yeah, he's a dad, he's a husband. You know what I'm saying? He's a friend. He's a son. He's a cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of times it gets lost when you start getting into these back and forth with people, and then the type of content we produce. You know, like my team always tell me, like, you know, I know you don't like doing interviews, but people like seeing that side of you, you know, a different side of you outside of your platform. You know what I'm saying? And so now that you're sitting with a woman, because I don't see you sitting with many women.
But that's what I'm trying to do. I have a sister named Cora that I bring onto my platform, and I'm trying to bring her on some more.
Okay.
You know, just to give a woman's perspective on my platform, because the world needs a black woman's voice.
Okay.
You know, and but I need that on my platform now.
You.
To bring that balance, because a lot of people be like, oh well, he hate women. No, my whole thing is accountability. So in the beginning of my YouTube, I was hard on the women because the women is raising the killers.
Okay.
Not every woman, but the women are raising the killers.
How you say that? Now, you know, you got to break that down for me, because I'm like, where the fathers at in this?
Well, see, that's the whole thing, right?
Are they even there? Is that what you're trying to say?
Most of these females got their kid living with the, you know how you watch Baby Boy, and you got Snoop kicking the castle over?
Yeah.
He be like, I hate you too, little. This is the evil that the woman is inviting in the home. And you don't care that this man is interacting with your sons or daughters. All you care is that you have some company in that bedroom. And this is what the problem is in the black community. A lot of these females will be like, oh, I'm doing it all by myself. And my thing be like, okay, well, shake that nigga you got laying in the bed eating your kid's cereal so he can help you bring balance to the little bag that you brought in the world. Yep, because this is what we doing here. And in the black community, we don't want to have accountability. See that word accountability? We don't want to have that. You bringing a man in your home and you're waging war on the baby daddy. So you make it easy, and this is not every case with every woman, but some of them are waging war on the baby daddy through the court system, through emotional stress, and then the real nigga you got laying in the bed eating a little cereal, popping his Pop-Tarts. You know what I mean?
You so funny.
Walk into the corner store, he got her EBT card, diddy bopping. You know what I mean? He outside. Hey yo, you want some sandwiches? You spending her food stamp money on your niggas in the street, then you coming back upstairs broke. After being in front of the corner store where everybody gets shot, you coming back upstairs broke. And now her attitude is going towards the baby daddy. Well, I'm doing this by myself. No, wake that bitch ass nigga up, send him outside to go find a job. Don't let him back in his house until he gets shit together. How about that? It's accountability. You know, so that's my whole thing, accountability. And I had to start holding everybody accountable now. Because we living in an area or times where black men is living their second childhood and third childhood and fourth childhood, and then they die. So it's like when a woman to tell me, and I be sarcastic with it, you ain't no real man. I ain't never seen one. Not in the black community. So when you break down what a man is supposed to be, please show me this nigga. Because you got different interpretations of what a man is. That's why I started telling people after a certain point in time, I don't consider myself a real nigga no more, because there's too many different real niggas. Everybody's a real nigga. This nigga ain't see his kids in 2 years, but he's a real nigga. What makes you real? What qualifies you to be real? The fact that you can shoot somebody, you can rob somebody, you went to jail, you did 3 to 5 years, maybe 10 years. Is that what make you real? While you was in jail, did you tell everybody that was on the outside world that everything that was hidden in the jail was hidden in your ass? But your favorite quote is no homo? Yeah, I was in jail getting the mother load. Well, where did you hide the mother load? In your ass. And there's something about your real nigga aura that loves bragging about the CEO that made you put your, and Charleston White steals this shit from me. When you hear him saying that, put your fingers in your mouth, put your hands on the wall, bend over, crack your ass. This is what, this is what you was going through on the visiting floor, going to the visit, going through the jail. Your family, when they had to come in, they checking your baby's diaper. Is that what qualify you to be a real nigga? You do all this time in jail, then you come back home, and now you got stripes, sleeping on somebody's couch. Talking about, what are you doing for the community? Like, what? What the fuck do you mean? What am I doing for the community? See, here, this is how this shit work, right?
Okay.
You got a house, apartment, whatever. You got a wife, You laid up on that, you humped on her, and you knew you ain't have $1 in your motherfucking pocket. You just committed genocide. You ain't got no business laying your ass on a woman if you ain't got no money in your pocket. So now you done created a little kid that's going to come into this world that's going to need. You and this, two broke motherfuckers ain't going to do nothing together but fight. So now the baby, the first week the baby born, this kicked out of the house. Y'all not even together no more. He already been scheming to go move in with somebody else. You ain't a pillar no more. You always grouchy, and he don't want the responsibility. He might live out of his car if he got one. When bills come around, he might 2 days at your house, 2 days at her house, 2 days at her house. When the bill, I don't live here. And these females let these get away with that, but take the anger out on the baby father.
I always like to, because, for me, there's, I don't speak without intention, right? Everybody has to, when you speak, it's coming from somewhere. And I've always wondered, because you do really, really go, you push the limits. You just say it, and I like that about you. A lot of people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people like that. They love that shit. You just say it. You don't give a what anybody has to say or come back. You will come back even stronger. But I wonder, what was your childhood like with your parents outside of, the unfortunate things that happened, with your molestation and stuff with African Bambaataa and that group and stuff. What was your childhood dynamic like between your mother and your father?
Well, one of my last stories with him living in the house, or me remember him sleeping in the house. I remember my mother and father was laying in a bed. I remember me playing with matches and me setting them both on fire.
You set your you set your what?
I set my mother and father on fire in the bed. I was playing with matches. I can remember vividly there was a white spread that they had.
They didn't hear the strikes?
I was playing with, I heard the strikes. I got the ass whooping of my life. Pretty much after that, it's like my father would come to the house because he revealed to me, just in the recent years that, he was on dope since he was 13 years old.
Wow.
And my mother said he's lying. And he was like, how the hell is she going to tell me when I start you? He was like, he was on dope since he was 13.
What was his drug of choice?
Dope. Oh. The dope, shooting dope.
Oh shit!
He was was on the heavy. He was so he
where we from in the South, dope could be marijuana.
No, that he was on a heavy drug.
Okay.
Since the age of 13. So with my father, he would come in the house, steal the furniture. Yeah. I can remember one time him and my mother got into a fight in the hallway, and she threw a bottle at him. He slipped on it, fell down a whole flight of steps. Laid on the corner, said a yellow cab hit him.
How old were you at the time?
I'm not sure.
Okay. These are just memories that you have.
Yeah, but I was very, very young.
Okay.
So he lays on the floor and yellow cab hit him. Then I can remember my mother arguing some years later when he came by. He was flashing all his lawsuit money because they had a few of them. Mm-hmm. And all he bought me and my sister was ice cream. A 50-cent ice cream, and was handing out $100 bills to all the neighbors. So my mother was hot behind that.
Now that I know you were probably too young to process that at the time, right? Were you?
You know what? All I knew is that my father, when we had our little talks, he was always, who's your best friend? You, Dad. You know what I mean? So he always established a relationship, but at the same time, on a flip side, let's say he would walk from Bronx River Projects to Webster Projects to where my grandmother lived at. Okay. And when I would get over there with him, my grandfather was like the best man in my life up until he died. So he would say, I'm gonna give you this money, but don't tell your father, because he's gonna take it from you. And my father, when it was time to go, He'll walk me, not take a cab, walk me from Webster Projects all the way to Bronx River.
Now, for people that's not from New York, how far is that?
You dealing with a kid that's 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. That's a far walk.
Okay.
You know, that's some miles right there. Bronx River, you know, by car, shorts. But walking for a little kid, yeah, that's a walk. So
Okay.
in the process of us walking, he'd be like, I know your grandfather gave you some money, where's that? And I give it to him. Then when I get home, where your money at? You done gave it to you. What am I supposed to do? This is my father.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
What about mom? Like how, I know you said like, you know, she was probably angry at your dad for not being there a lot and they fought a lot, but like how was the relationship between you and her?
My brothers and sisters ain't gonna like it, but some of them, but I gotta be real. My mother was abusive.
Like
Very, very abusive. Extension cord abusive.
Oh, wow.
I know you're gonna do something to piss me off later on, so I might as well whip your ass right now. I had ass whoopings on layaway. So my mother wasn't the type of person I could sit up there and say, what's wrong? Because if you tell her what's wrong, she might get pissed off and whoop your ass. So now there's a fear thing there. It's like, I love my mother, but there's a fear.
Wow. So anything could make her snap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have any memories of good times between you and your mom?
I mean, yeah, we definitely had good times. My mother wasn't a bad woman, but at the same time, she was a bad woman. And then you got to keep in mind now, my mother grew up in a household with the evil stepdad that was raping all her sisters. So she left home early. And whatever she went through, whatever luggage that she went through in life, it all came out on me.
Okay. Are you the oldest?
No, I have a sister that's oldest. That's the oldest. But me, I was the one that was responsible. 6 kids. I was the fifth one, taking care of all the babies while she, you know, she's gone. I'm in the house raising her children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a baby raising babies. So I got to see all the good, bad, and ugly in the black community, and most of my friends didn't have a father.
Okay. Did she have a lot of men coming in and out of the house?
I mean, she had a few, but we had a stepfather that the only communication that we really like before he got in the house, it was we going to Coney Island to the rides and we going to fun places, and then when you in the house and you ain't good with the woman, it's like, okay, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, fix me some Kool-Aid. You know, for me, you know, after a while, he wouldn't ask me to give him no Kool-Aid.
What you do? What you doing, son? Was you being fucking Hassan?
Dirty glasses, all types of stuff like that. You know, I mean.
Don't tell me you put the color purple
Man, I
on.
done did a little bit of everything. Yeah, yo, it's funny because one day, and God, I love him to death. He passed away some years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, when he passed away, it made me realize I still love the man, but I still had animosity towards him too. Him and my mother. Mm-hmm. So I bring the cup, he be like, so he stopped asking me.
He used his intuition.
Yeah, it was like he knew something. I'm sitting up there like, you know, my goddamn nerves. We got the new Nintendo. I don't never get a chance to play it. You always got the new Nintendo in the room. Yeah.
Hell no.
Know what it's like to have a Nintendo when you can't play it, and he's always playing it. Yeah. Can't watch wrestling. You love Hulk Hogan. He's in the room watching wrestling. We have never watched wrestling together. Ever.
Damn.
Ever. You know, and then
we used to watch that every Monday night. Shit.
Yeah, so at one point in time, it was like the deal breaker with me and him was, you know, I couldn't go outside unless I was going to the store. So when he would leave and she would leave, I'm in the house babysitting. So I would sneak. And one day, I guess he ran into me outside, sneaking outside. Why you ain't upstairs? Who upstairs with kids? Nobody. I left him upstairs. He took a bottle and he threw it at me. It was like, yeah.
And your mom, she didn't say anything?
She ain't do nothing, but you know, at this point in time now, my father's brother, you know, he during that time he was something serious. He came home and he was looking for him. He ain't never really catch up to him, but he made it clear that ain't gonna happen again.
Did he make contact with the bottle? Did the bottle make contact?
It just missed me. Oh. And that just put a hatred. It put a animosity in me because it was like, yo, I don't have no life. My only life consists of me being in the house, raising my mother's children.
How many of you guys are?
It was 6.
Okay, you did say that. Okay. How many girls?
3 and 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you did all the cooking, you did all the cleaning, you did everything.
Cooking and cleaning, it was something. My mother had a gambling problem. You would think she was on drugs the way she gambled.
What was it? She went to the casinos, or was it just Latto?
Playing numbers.
Playing numbers, okay.
Playing the numbers, and it was like there was times where that I would walk a dog named Melissa, Miss Teresa dog, just to go buy oodles and noodles to put food in the house, cause there wasn't none.
Damn.
And it was time she'd run off wherever she was at, doing whatever she was doing. I'm in the house raising the kids. You know, so people would be like, with the BAM situation, why would you be running the BAM? To escape her. Then the days that there's no food in the house, why you running back? Why you kept going back to BAM? There's nothing in the house to eat.
And we're talking about African Bambaataa.
African Bambaataa. Like, what are you running to this? Why are you running back to this dude for? Because there was times my mother ain't leave nothing in the house to eat. And I'm not going to say she didn't feed us, but some of the days when she was on her escapade and she was gambling, go knock on such and such door, see if we could borrow some milk and eggs, see if we could borrow some chicken, ask Miss Barbara if she got a pack of meat. Like, you just spent $400 or $500 on the gambling. And then it'll be times I say, all right, I got something for her ass. Send me to the number hole, put the number in. And the first thing you'll be thinking is, first of all, what the hell is this little boy? Why are they letting him in this gambling spot? He's too young to be in a gambling spot. But I'm coming there giving a number, so I say, okay, today's the day. I'm not putting these goddamn numbers in. I'm going to the arcade. She ain't going to hit anyway. That's the day she hit.
And what happened to you?
She fired that ass up. Frying pans, extension cords, handball paddles, brooms, pipes, whatever she could get her hand on. I guess the difference between me and my sister, like there used to be some times where my sister, she'd get on it like, yo, don't hit him again. My mother would be like, what you say, bitch? Don't hit my brother again. And she would stand there and she'll take the ass whooping for me. And I be done ran off like, oh shit. And my sister would not move. Me, my mother had to take breaks because I make you have a heart attack. I'm going to run, jump over beds, backflips. Oh, you trying to kick me? No, I'm trying to block the belt. Oh, you tried to kick. That's another ass whoop. That's another, yeah.
Listen close and listen carefully. The olive leaf extract can reverse high blood pressure and diabetic high blood sugar, or the sugar, as some of our grandmamas may call it. It can also kill any nasty little bugs in your bodies like parasites, bacteria, fungi, tumors, and much, much more. And if that's not enough, you can also tell certain cancers like breast, prostate, colon, liver, and skin cancer to take a seat because the olive leaf extract has been known to fight it. And their friend lupus can get it too, okay? So I need my winos to be in good health because we have some good dragging to do. So visit myoliveleaf.biz to help get your health in order.
What is it that you do for a living?
So I had a 12-year career as a university administrator at HBCUs in North Carolina.
Where did you go to school for?
A Bachelor of Arts and Liberal Studies, and kind of focusing on race, class, and culture.
Okay.
And then I have a Master's of Public Administration.
So you've worked with lots of college students, or just minors in general. Reed is adamant about you guys knowing each other and you having a relationship with him, and he knows you because you're gay.
We're a family where it's only bishops and ministers and pastors and everybody's in the church. And it's that thing here in the South that it's just You know, it's just certain things you don't talk about.
And so they go over to Reed's house, and then he goes upstairs with Reed, and she stays downstairs.
Yeah. And so now that it's gotten to this point, he can't run from the truth. And he's had every opportunity to acknowledge. And I think most time victims just want, like, I know what happened to me. You telling me this ain't happened, like I'm stupid, like I'm crazy. This is classic sexual assault speak. You remember the door being cracked, you remember what's on the TV sounds, because you're checked out of the moment. And these things, you go right back into those spaces.
You were beyond vulnerable. You didn't have anybody to protect you, and it's easy for anybody to move in and assume that role, and then you gain their trust, especially if they're treating you better than what you're getting at home. And so your dad wasn't around, stepdad, mom was out doing elsewhere. So yes, it's easy for you to go back and forth to this person that you look up to and that you're building a bond with, not knowing that he's grooming you.
Right. And it's like I told people, if Bam wasn't the first, it's like Bam wasn't the first one to molest me. So it was like, okay.
Really?
The hell no, he wasn't the first one to molest me.
Who was the first person to molest?
Stephanie. You ever seen that movie, what's the brother name? Where he was molested by the girl? Denzel Washington, he was in a movie with Denzel. What is the brother name?
I know Antoine Fisher.
Antoine Fisher.
Yes.
Girl almost looked like her, Stephanie. And the worst part about Stephanie, let me tell you something, right?
How old were you at the time?
With Stephanie, I think with Stephanie, that started about 5 or 6 years old. So with Stephanie, right? When Stephanie was molesting me, it was funny because this specific day, I'm behind the curtains in the living room. We living on the 8th floor at this time. I'm hiding behind the curtains. I got my pants down. Darshan got her pants down, playing house.
Who's Darshan?
Darshan is one of the neighbor's kids.
Okay.
So now, that's why I tell people when you molested, you go on and you touch other people too. Oh, he's a rapist. No, she was my age, maybe a year younger.
Okay.
So Darshan's behind the curtains. I'm behind the curtains. Stephanie comes in the house. We behind the curtains. She runs off. Ooh. I gets the ass whipping of my life. Again, because that was every day. But this was a special ass where I got my ass roasted. And I never could help thinking like, yo, she's touching me every chance that she gets. There's been times, because her mother used to live on the 11th floor. At one point in my building, we moved to the 12th floor too. So we had 2 different apartments in the same building. Her mother living on the 11th floor. They got a card game going on where there's about 16 adults gambling, playing cards in the kitchen. The bathroom is right there to the right there. She got me in the bathroom, playing with me on the toilet. Non-stop, yes, definitely. So it's like for you to sit up there and tell my mother and get me the ass whooping that I got, it was like, whoa, are you serious?
How old was Stephanie?
Stephanie got me by about at least 6 years.
Oh wow.
So, and there was others. I could keep going on. It was different. I've been molested so many times. It was normal. And never once did I have the conversation with my mother. Because of what? Fear. What was that going to lead to? Another ass whooping?
Wow.
So what am I supposed to say? Because everything that you did, I mean, the crazy part about it is I just stopped peeing in the bed till I was like about 16. And it wasn't because I was just lazy. I was traumatized. When I went to sleep and I woke up, I was just wet. I didn't know that I was peeing. That's how damaged I was. That's why now I tell people that they be beating the kids like, first of all, you didn't even find out why this kid is wet in the bed. What did you hit them for? Oh, you're lazy. No, that's not true. Yeah. Every child does not wet the bed because they're lazy.
Yeah, I had a sister, it was rough because we had bunk beds, man, and she used to pee and fucking pee cups. God damn it. Damn it.
You are now talking to Pissy Poppy.
Like 11 years. Like, we used to be like, Mom, put on a bottle. put her on the bottom because she would be so much the mattress just got heavy.
That's me.
Yeah.
Pissy Poppy. That's what they used to call me.
Wow.
Pissy Poppy. Wake up and had piss up to my neck.
Yeah.
Oh, you just gonna lay in it? No, I'm hoping that it dries so I don't get my ass whooped when you see me going to the bathroom, because that's another ass whooping. So when people sit up there and say, while you kept running back because they're to escape. Because I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. To escape.
Yeah.
And there's something about that extension cord that screams freedom. You know, there's been times I couldn't even go to school because I had too many whelps on me. I remember one day she busted me in my head with a phone. Crack. Split my whole head open. I said, I got something for her. I wrapped my whole head up like a mummy. She looked at me, said, go sit your ass down. Like, yeah, because you know I can't go to school, but you got my whole head leaking. So this is what I grew up with, the abuse.
How long did the abuse take place? Like, how many years?
My whole life. Until it got to the point to where that, like, well, I finally just started leaving the house. I started leaving.
What age you started leaving?
I left the house. I stopped living with my mother when I was like 15, 16 years old. I left. I was gone.
Okay.
Gone.
Damn. Why did you say you think your sisters, your brothers and sisters will be upset about you talking
Well,
about
it's specifically mainly my little brother, because he loved, regardless of what, and I respect him for it because I was the same way. But I feel like in order for other people to heal, they got to understand there's a story there for a reason. You know, my mother wasn't the worst mother, but she was the worst mother at the same time. You understand? And it's like, I understand her conditions and how she was raised. So in order to understand Hassan Campbell's story, you have to understand hers. And I know some of my aunts and uncles ain't gonna like the fact that no matter what you say, at some point in time, my mother's stepfather was a psychopath. And my whole thing is, when I got out of jail, when I really, really started reevaluating just everybody's life and what everybody been through, my whole thing was like, so if this nigga raped all my mother's sisters, what was he still doing around me? He had an apartment at Crown Heights when my grandmother was still with him. I can remember these days. One day I pissed in the bed. That nigga beat me for like 2 hours straight. And then you got to keep in mind, this man was a dangerous man. He was a dangerous man at that. People were scared to death of him. That nigga beat me like a runaway slave, and they let him. And then I'm sitting up there thinking to myself, if my mother knew that that he raped her sisters, why was he in my presence? Why am I even sleeping in his house? You know he abusive.
So it was definitely normalized.
Yes.
And it was all she knew.
Yes. You know, when she at a young age, she escaped, she left. She ran away and she left. One of her sisters that, when she died, I was happy. You know.
Damn.
She hated my mother. She hated my mother's kids because, you know, there was a story about her getting raped. And the guy who raped her really wanted my mother. So he snatched her. She was raped. And, I don't really know the story, but I know there was a hatred between her and my mother. I'm at her house because my uncle was living with her. And this was, at the time, he was like one of my favorite uncles, my Uncle Gege, right? So my sneaker money's on the dresser, sitting on the dresser. It disappears. Make a long story short, she said I stole my own money, which I didn't. She beat me to where I had blood coming, like blood dripping out of my whole body. I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do nothing. My mother let her get away with that. I don't understand how. I don't understand why. I just knew that ass whooping right there, I had bad ass whoopings. That was the worst ever. She beat me with so much hate. But the one thing that made me hate her even more when I went to jail, she got me standing butt ass naked. She made me put my fingers in my mouth. right? She made me lift my arms up, right? She made me turn around and open my ass cheeks in front of her, butt ass naked, then beat me like a runaway slave. And when I went to jail for murder, and they did the same thing to me in jail, and I realized that's what she did, it made me hate her even more. Cause I'm like, yo, and it's like she finds the money, right? On top of the garbage can, on top of the garbage. And I'm looking like, I didn't put that there. I don't even understand why that money's sitting there. So it's like she stole the money and put the money there herself just to beat me. That's how I feel, because who else did it? Outside of my uncle's girlfriend that was standing right there, I got beat like a runaway slave. So it's like my whole childhood, I'm trying to escape these ass whoopings. Everywhere I went, there was an ass whooping. I think the only person my Aunt Linda was crazy, but she loved the hell out of me. And I don't remember my Aunt Linda ever putting her hands on me. Ever. Her and my Uncle Stan. Outside of that, everywhere else I'm going, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. So it was like, you know, the build up. Now you get a certain age, you living in Bronx River Projects. Now this is where Bam Step comes in even more. I'm in one of the wildest projects ever. This is the home of hip hop. This is where everything bad happens. Every time I go outside, if I ain't getting an ass whooping in the house, it's outside as well. And at some point in time, my sister, she wasn't there because my sister could fight. Like most of the dudes in the neighborhood could not beat her. She would beat, like, literally, they couldn't beat her. So, but at one point in time, my sister ended up getting raped, kidnapped. I can't really go into the story. All I know is that we was looking for her all day. And when she finally came home, she had a tear from her leg all the way up from when the guy snatched her in the car, ripped her, left her unconscious on the roof. You know, she ended up in a mental ward for some time. Then she ended up living in Brooklyn and Coney Island with my Aunt Linda. So now it's me fending for myself, going outside. She used to be the ones, don't you put your hands on my brother. Now it's just me getting bullied, getting harassed, getting picked on. And then at some point in time, it's like, yo, now these dudes, these kids out here that's my age, 12 and 13-year-old, 14-year-old, they got guns. Who you running to? The nigga that controls the whole neighborhood. Bam. Why you keep running back? Who else was there to run to? There was nowhere to run to.
Give me an approximate of your size, because I mean, like at the time, 12 or 13 years old.
Man, even up to when I was 18 years old, I was like about 125 pounds.
What's your height? What was your height at the time? I know you're a little taller now, but
medium.
Okay.
This big damn near my whole life. Little, petite. The little pretty boy with curly hair.
Wow. Where was school in all of this?
School was the worst too. Going to school, third grade teacher, Miss Reniski, she used to sit me outside in the outside the classroom, tell all the kids I had lice, pick through my hair, and say I was stinking. She ain't want me in her class. Couldn't say nothing to my mother. I was gonna get my ass whooped. You acting up in school? So it was school. I couldn't even pay attention to school to learn. 5th grade teacher told me, I'll never forget, in front of the whole class, he said, when you turn 18, you going to jail. And I just looked at him. I'm like, wow, when I turn 18, I'm going to go to jail?
Did you believe him?
No. Because I wasn't a bad kid to go to jail, but what it was is he could see the trouble in me. And instead of trying to have a conversation or a counseling, he threw it out there. And when I turned 18 years old, September 3rd, September 5th, I was on a run for shooting the max. September 6th, I was on a run for the homicide in Boston Secor. Back to back, 2 days back to back, I'm on a run. October 24th, they caught me in Connecticut, extradite me back to New York after I think it was about 30 days they extradited me back.
No, you know, just in case, because, you know, my platform, I don't want to assume that everybody knows you, right? Because we're here to really put it all into context. Because, you know, there's so much content out there about you. And then people take it and they make it into what they interpret it as and, you know, twist your words or you know, it's just so much. And it's just nice to bring the whole story together. So, so you didn't do well in school at all, as far as your grades?
Hell no.
Did you drop out?
Yep.
So you never graduated high school?
Nope.
To this day?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Now, 15, 16 years old, you're already in with African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nations, like, clique.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you're already in with them. You're building a relationship. You're running with these guys and stuff. Like, just in case people don't know the story, how did the homicide come into play?
Well, see that one, I can somewhat speak on it because I'm convicted of it. Actually, they broke it down to manslaughter, then broke it down again to assault on the first, and I copped out because due to a lack of evidence or whatever. I don't know if I should really go too deep into details in the situation, but it was the streets. And I found myself in a situation where me and my co-defendant, Eric was my co-defendant at the time. We both was charged with that. It was kill or be killed. You know, we got surrounded by grown dudes. You know, the dude that I was beefing with, he was my age, but the other dudes that was around, the dude that died was 28 years old. And if anything, he should have been calming the situation down. You know, what I will say is in that situation, they knocked on the door and told us to come downstairs as if they was going to squash the situation. And these are the older dudes. Okay. But when we got down there, we circled in a situation where they talking crazy. And the police car actually pulled up because it was hot. The gun task force, the gun boys used to jump out and search everybody, and then they would drive off. But in this situation, they didn't search everybody. Everybody walked. They went their separate ways. And, you know, when the police drove off, next thing you know, things just got crazy. You know, and I remember reading the newspaper the next day. In the newspaper, it said that the police was in pursuit of whoever, you know, killed the person, or whatever the case may be. And 6 police got into a real bad car accident. I don't know if they died or not or whatever, but it was bad. So it was definitely a lot of heat coming from our situation, you know. But like I said, the day before, I'm already on a run for max. The next day, I'm on a run for homicide. So it was just, and this was every day. This is how I grew up every day. Every day somebody was getting shot. It was kill or be killed in the Bronx.
Now, were you running with any gangs besides the Zulu Nation? Or no?
It was just like, during those days, it wasn't really gangs. It was this side of the projects versus that side of the projects. So this neighborhood, the niggas is beefing with that neighborhood. You just had to be careful. And, you know, once I got to a certain point, right? Zulu Nation again, going back to the Zulu Nation, there was a lot of strong brothers that we looked up to. Zulu Nation was way bigger than Africa Bambaataa. And it was like a lot of dudes that I looked up to like they were Superman. And some of those dudes, those same dudes, I gravitated to that street life. I have no choice anyway. I was getting picked on. So the anger was building up. The ass whoop was building up. The anger is building up. Getting jumped is building up. Being in junior high school, getting jumped. Going to school, getting suspended because I'm bringing chains and knives to defend myself because, once again, my sister's not there. In junior high school, my sister's not there. Now I got to defend myself. And some of my friends, they didn't go to the same school. They was going to Monroe or whatever schools in the area. I'm going to 144. So now I'm dealing with getting bullied, getting picked on, getting bullied, getting picked on. And, you know, I'm going around these, I wanted to be a part of the Zulu Nation. I'm already around Bam. I want to be around B.O. B.O. was like, he's a legendary dude from the Bronx. I'm trying to get around these older guys. And eventually I did. As I got older, they start to get my attention. I'm around Muhammad Stanley Bell, one of the brothers in Zulu Nation.
Okay.
He gets caught up in a situation where he's beefing in Bronx River. And this was like my introduction to, like, really, really hard introduction to the streets and me playing with guns, because he gets shot by a psychopath named Nene. May he rest in peace, one of my arch enemies, because of Muhammad Stanley Bell, a dude that's in his 30s while I'm running around 15, 16 years old. You know, he gets shot by Nene. They put a gun in my hand to go back in the projects to handle this. This is the first time I'm in a situation this serious, and they don't live in the Bronx River, but I live in Bronx River. So now I'm at war with my own projects. It's kill or be killed. And in that situation, I was left for dead. I had to fend for myself. So from that point forth.
Now, when you say left for dead, what do you mean by that?
There was a shootout that happened after Muhammad got shot. And make a long story short, the niggas that he sent us back up in the projects to go against, Zulu Nation at that point wasn't ready for Bronx River. That day right there, at that point in time, that day right there, they lost.
Okay.
And my mentor, B.O., he wasn't in town. He was in Hawaii, I believe.
Okay.
So he was out of town for a while. When he came back in, he was flipping, because he basically said, yo, I told them niggas to keep you out. I'm a child. B.O. would use me to do little things like, if there's events or we having meetings, he would teach me how to search. People come in to meetings, and, you know, we would have little lectures, and knowledge was passed out. This is the road. You know, B.O. was caught up in between the streets, and he was also caught up on trying to mentor kids. Mm-hmm. Stay in school, stay in school, stay in school. Everybody blamed B.O. for me being in the streets, but no, it was really Muhammad. You know, and when it got to the point to where all that stuff got that serious, I went from being a kid that was watching America's Most Wanted to being on America's Most Wanted. There was times that I used to watch America's Most Wanted and be like, yo, oh, wow, he killed somebody.
How much time did you do?
1.5 to 4.5. I did 3 years on Rikers Island, went up north and came back down. My co-defendant beat the case. He beat the case at trial. So when it was time for me to go to trial, I look back in the court and I see my grandmother. It's the first time I've seen her the whole time I've been locked up. And it took everything for me not to cry. So when they offered me the 1.5 to 4.5, I jumped on it, because I could have beat it at trial. I said, you know what? This is God giving me a sign. And just because Eric beat it don't mean I'm going to beat it anyway. But I felt like I was going to beat it.
What were you facing if you didn't beat it?
Life. 25 to life. Yeah.
If you don't want your daughter, sign her over to me. So my father did that. My father, at the age of 16, signed me over to Boonks' biological father to get married.
At 16 years old?
Yes.
You were signed over to a grown man?
Me and my son, we walk to the neighborhood where I told you my father still was. And I saw my uncle outside. He say, well, what? Which is my aunt and husband. He say, what are you doing out here walking this time of night with your baby? I say, I got to get pampered. I ran out of milk. I got to buy groceries, and then my rent coming up. I need to borrow some money. He say, I don't have money, but I know how you can make some. I say, how? So he say, follow me. So I go in the house. I asked Dad. I said, Dad, I'm going to go somewhere with Uncle so-and-so. I'm not going to mention names, but Uncle so-and-so. He said he'll watch my son. He takes me to a strip club, saying that's how I make some money.
Now, what about, I guess, Book on the couch and he watching you beat the shit out of his stepdad?
Yes, that is true. I beat that man from one end of the house to the other, and this is why. So plenty of times I would be in the bed, knocked out sleep, while he would go on his drinking binges. That particular day, he came home, penis hard, having an erection, he wants to have sex. I smell piss and alcohol. That's all I smell. Their door is wide open. I walk out, he's fully naked, looking into their room, masturbating.
I do want to say, from one mother to another, Boot was bad as Listen.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No, like how you did it, but if I were a mom, and I didn't really challenge him on those things because like he's it's kind of like I took it as if he's acknowledging all the wrong shit that he did. So I didn't want to beat him down some more. You see what I'm saying? But then when he brought up you, I can't challenge that because I'm like, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I can understand from his perspective why he would say he ended up the way that he ended up if these things in fact happened to him as a child with you being abused.
It's a lot. You know, it's just, I see so much. I see you. Now I understand why you are the way you are. I've always respected who you were. Like anybody that has just the courage to get out here and just say whatever the fuck is on their mind. Not recklessly, because I don't take you as reckless. You see what I'm saying? But there's a lot of intent. There's a lot of passion when you speak. And so when you've gone through a lot of the things that you've gone through, of course, I would be as everything that I say, I mean what the fuck I say. Right? I have been taught from the moment of conception that life is not to be enjoyed. Life is to be, you got to get out here and live life. And every single move you make is being watched, calculated, and you just never know. So like now, and I'm glad that you know, because, you know, I've watched some of your interviews and I'm like, why ain't nobody put it in chronological fucking order? You ever ask yourself that?
Because a lot of they're like, they not, first of all, you coming from the role of a nurturer. Okay. Most of these niggas, these are the ignorant niggas.
Yeah.
They don't know. Sometimes it takes the touch of a woman to bring certain things out.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. You know, it's like, people just don't, I don't wholeheartedly believe people just get up and just be like, well, nowadays, I mean, there's some true clout chasers out here, but, you know, there's always a story. There's always a why. And what is that why? And so now it's easy to understand why it is you were in the situations that you were in. You didn't have nobody showing you life, so you got it as best as you could. And the people that were supposed to be protecting you, that wasn't protection. They were violating you. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's not okay. And I'm glad you know that it's not okay. And that despite, because when we were having dinner, you did mention my mom, but if I say something, I know it's gonna hurt my mom. You said that sitting over there when we were sitting at the table. And I was like, what you mean? You know? So I could tell you've been holding a lot back. It's like you want to put it out there, but you're thinking about like, I'm not my mom. I'm not my aunt. I'm not my stepdad. I'm not my dad. I have a conscience, and I realize that, you know, even though that this was a part of my past and it has greatly affected me and has created the person that I am to this very day, you still have compassion in your heart.
Because you know what it is? Even though my mother had a great deal with her, she as a woman, she still had things that, like, for example, my mother taught me to pray. Whether I believed in what she believed in or not, because we used to have our little Bible studies, and me and Eric used to call Jesus Superman. Because some of the stories, we was just like, you know, it's like adding up, but we always believed in God. And it was like, my mother, she always took in homeless people. When she did have money and she wasn't gambling, if you needed something, she would give you the clothes off her back. So she had good things about her. She just was abusive. Super duper abusive. You know, so when I feed the homeless, it's because my mother taught me that. I've taken people in my house, and the same thing that happened to my mother, they always steal. Most of the time when you take somebody in the yard, they steal from you. And that be the deal breaker right there. You know, so there was beautiful things about my mother, but, you know, there was a lot that demons she needed to face.
Your mom is still alive, right?
No.
Okay.
And see, that brings me to the point to where that when you see me breaking down, like me coming out on Africa Bambaataa was the worst. That shit was the worst. If I had to do this all over again, I'd rather spend life in jail.
Then telling everyone what happened.
Because people don't understand. It's not just about what they think. It was about, now my mother had to go to trial and deal with the public opinion, and the relationship that me and my mother had got real rocky on her deathbed. My mother was in a coma, in and out of a coma for 2 years straight. And in between, before that, and like, it was just so much bad blood. So much bad blood. Our relationship was just like really, really bad.
How bad could it have gotten? Like, what was it that y'all was at odds about? Was it all the shit that she had done to you as a child?
It was that, and just the fact that, like, there was a coldness that I felt coming from her once she had to deal with the scrutiny of what people said about her.
Oh, as if she was ashamed.
So to me, it started feeling like, you my enemy now. So now I'm really a motherless child. You know, and I just didn't, me being in the hospital with her, watching her fight for her life for 2 years. I've seen, like, the fight that she went through off and on in that hospital was like nothing. It rocked me. So now you'll see, there'll be times where you see me, I'm at war with people in the streets.
How'd she die? What took her?
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you because she had so much going on. I know the last time she went in the hospital, she might have had bleeding on the brain. My mother had so much stuff going wrong with her body. The only one that could really, really tell you, break it down to you, would be one of my little brothers. And because he knew every medicine she was taking. I know at some point in time, arthritis crippled her. So she was bedridden.
Okay.
You know, and I got arthritis just like she got arthritis, but, you know, I'm praying to God it don't get like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, her body kept breaking down. She was in and out of comas and pneumonia here and this there and that there. And it was rough. And it was like, you know, for me, I was out of the streets, but not out of the streets. So I'm still dealing with a lot of life and death situations, and just the mental part of it. Like, it wasn't so much of the trolling on the internet. It was the relationships that was lost because of it as well, because I had to stand my ground. And now it was to the point to where that there's situations where I felt like I had to kill people that I love. Now we are enemies. Because Zulu Nation was much more than just Africa Bambaataa. So now you got the Zulu Nation on trial for what I've been through, and Bronx River. Because now all the conversations is going on, and there was like the center, for example, where all the community center, the people that ran the center, everybody in that center knew Bam was touching kids. Bam was the boogeyman. Everybody knew. The whispers was going. Every parent that seen him with a child knew to snatch those children away from him, but they wouldn't. So when you hear certain celebrities talk about Bam, it's like, oh, like Peter Guns. Shout out to Peter Guns. He was just on Queen's Flip platform, and he was like, yo, we all knew what Bam was. That ain't no secret. As soon as his name came up, there was the whispers. The only thing about it, back in those days, like when he went on the news and he was like, why people ain't say all of this back in the days? Because if it wasn't for social media and the niggas that used to be around back then, and this would have been said, your whole family would have been murdered. That wouldn't have happened. And he knew that. You wasn't going to just sit up there and say no stuff like that. He had families disappear. If I would have said what I said back then, my mother would have been dead. And anybody who came to her aid, and I had a strong family, but not as strong as the Zulu Nation. So when you got to understand something too, as well, Bam was like Beast of a Nation. You look at his books, yo, every killer was in his book. That's why I be sitting up there telling people, a lot of these little niggas that's in jail for murder, you wonder why they so mad? Because they got a story that they can't tell. A lot of people's not going to never, they'll take it to their grave. A man touched you, they're not telling that. But now when the little boys that look at Hassan Campbell and they see my story and then they see what the internet did to me, they'll never tell. Nobody would want to be treated the way I was treated. Some of these people that sit up there and say the things that they say about me, but don't have nothing to say about Bam, knowing that I was a child, oh, I knew better at this age. So that's what you say?
What?
Yeah, these are the men though. And then while the men are saying this, the women are silent.
And meanwhile, most of these men done did time. And they probably knew better than that, but they couldn't stop it.
Yeah, so this is what we dealing with, the mentality.
I do feel that I think it should have been someone that was pretty much gender neutral to take on your story when it first came out. Because I think it would have been well received better. Because men, for some reason, it's almost as if like they take it personal. Ain't no way that happened to you, dog. Stop that. Stop. You knew what was going on because they can't fathom.
Oh, no. In the beginning, everybody was, okay, I get it. Even though some people had certain stuff to say, but okay, I get it. It wasn't until the popularity started coming, and now, but because of the wars, the silent wars going on with the Zulu Nation, that people couldn't see. Oh, why you didn't do nothing to Bam? Like Bam was floating from different country to country. Bam wasn't nowhere where I could get where I could get to him at. Why you didn't do nothing to Bam? What you think that nigga just sitting around? And everywhere he moving where we got people around him. He's not just moving by himself, but yet he blew it out of the country. Nobody's gonna give me credit for destroying. I dismantled the whole Zulu Nation. Now the only thing left in the Zulu Nation is them little pockets that was making money. The dusty ass Mickey Benson's, the one you hear on the phone talking to Ron Savage, talking about, come on, man, you know Bam ain't do nothing to you that you ain't want done to you. Oh, I'll send you the audio. You know, these are the pioneers. Mickey Benson used to be Fat Joe's own manager. Mickey Benson used to be Ice-T's manager. So he's deep in the industry. And then you listening to him talk about, yo, dogs, you messing up the brand. So it wasn't about the children, it's about the brand.
If it wasn't about the children, they should have left the motherfucking kids alone. Period.
You know, but at the end of the day, so now, you know, people have an understanding that like when I look, because there's two things that I'm popular for that really gets under people's skin now. Nobody has ever attacked these gangster rappers like I've done. And nobody's ever attacked these gangs like I've done. I'm the only one to do it until Charleston came along after me and cloned my whole style.
Charleston ain't attacking no gangs.
You know, so no, he talks about them.
He talks about it, but when he was scared when they walked up on him when he was in Texas. He called the police on their ass. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. We got the receipts on that. I tried to tell you, we did a whole expose on him. That's why he been quiet. He ain't said that. Oh, Tasha ain't got no reason telling me I'm a plant, whatever. What do you do for the community? That's all he'll say. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
So my whole thing is just like, okay, now we get down to the nitty gritty. You're Hassan Campbell, you clout chasing. Nah. Mm-hmm. See, what it is that I understood how I ended up in the streets. Okay. Because there was no role model in my life. And when you growing up in poverty and pain where the dope is being sold in the same buildings that you live in, and niggas is getting shot in front of your face, whatever lifestyle was you gonna choose? You ain't going behind the janitor. He can't protect you. He just minding his business, sweeping the floor. You know what I mean? You ain't running behind the school bus driver. He just opening up that door, minding his business and closing the door. So now you mimicking the gangster. And the most beautiful things is surrounded by the hellfire. So now you want to be this dude that looks like he's strong. He out here getting money. And it wasn't even about that. I ain't even want no money. I just wanted a gun. All I wanted was a gun. Because once I got my hand on that gun, I was going, like all the pain that was given to me is like when you watch the movie The Crow, right? And he grabbed the bad guy at the end and he gave him all his pain. That's all I wanted to do. To all the tough guys, all the bad guys. I just wanted to give them my pain. So that's what I did. Gave him my pain. So now as an adult, when I sit back and I watch, you know, some of these rappers that I done attacked throughout the years, I'm like, yo, y'all dogs is coming to the hood and y'all selling the hood when y'all living in mansions. I ain't with it. It's not that I'm clout chasing. I see what you're doing. You can't send your kid. It's like, you can't send your kid. I'm watching your kid at the lake house with the white kids. And I see the joy father when you on camera with your kids. But when you come to the hood around my kid, you come with that gangster persona. You got $1 million worth of jewelry on your neck. And then when I listen to your raps, you spitting gang culture. The same shit that's destroying our children. And so for me, I'm going to be that man that has the platform that what I did, I've never even seen Malcolm X do. You never seen Malcolm X go at Bumpy Johnson. I went at every gang and everybody that was in position. And whether it was on the internet or not, and I was told the whole time that you're gonna die. Somebody's going to get you. Well, it's been years. Ain't nobody get me, and I'm active in the streets. I'm out there.
Well, let's not put that out there, though.
No, but they do put it out there.
Yeah.
They do put it out there. And this is the energy some of these bloggers, men, they put this energy out there. We had a big party that just passed, right? Mm-hmm. And through the internet, some people were scared to go because it was predicted that I was going to die at the party. Because this is the energy that they put out. Because I'm not supposed to be this tough guy. I'm just this weak guy and I ain't got nobody. But it just so happened that most of the gangs or the dudes that have any kind of man in them, they respect the fact that what I'm saying. They understand, like, yo, I'm the uncle that's supposed to tell these young boys don't go in that direction.
I just find it hilarious that it's other bloggers that are saying this.
Yeah. I call it digital COINTELPRO.
Niggas are snitches for pay on the internet. Like, yeah.
Digital see, it's what they created, right? You got to understand something. In Malcolm X time, Martin Luther King time, they had to gather, get the word out.
Right.
Me and you just get on the internet, we press go live, and just like that, there's 10,000 people watching us. That's a different kind of power. So now they create this digital COINTELPRO where they have a smear campaign and they got to make you look like you're not so good. And you got these little bot-ass people that get up there and they're going to say anything. They're going to lie. They're going to do whatever it is that can make you look like you just the worst of the worst of the worst. Mm-hmm. When you search my name and you look at some of the videos, it's like, yo, well, who are all you people? And then who assigned you to make videos about this dude for 3 years, 4 years straight, nonstop? That's not normal. I don't want to talk about nobody every day like that. It's not normal.
I always wonder how they do it. They're your biggest fans, though.
One person? Nah, it's more than that. And because what I realized as well with these dudes is that they all connected and they'll all make videos at the same time or they'll all stop. Then they all do it. It's like they call each other. And it'd be like 30 of them making videos back to back, drop them at the same time. So now if I don't make videos, when you search my name, their videos overshadow me. Mm. And it's like, well, damn, like sometimes I just want to see me when I search my name. But okay, I get it.
I mean, you're a popular guy.
I get it. You know,
you're a popular guy.
I kind of, I bruise egos.
I stopped searching my name like a long time ago. Because I would do it to see people review. Like, I want to see what they said about my commentary. But then shit just start getting, I'm like, wait, what? The next thing you know, I'm in these beefs and I'm like, this ain't what I built my platform on. This is not what I came on YouTube for. Fuck y'all. Once I close the door, guess what? They ain't got nobody to help their videos chart. So normally Tasha K would respond and they'll get normally 1,000. They probably get 20, 30, 100,000.
Right.
Now, 1,000. I don't say shit.
Man, I haven't been posting.
I figured out the game.
I haven't been posting for the last few days. I had one of the trolls DM me on Instagram like, is everything okay? Like, are you serious? So you don't have no content. So you want to see if I'm okay just so you can have something to put out there. Like, wow,
I had
man.
One that was, I'm telling you what I tell you, they was just lying. And I remember I was out maybe like 3 weeks. Can we get on a phone call? What were they on a phone call for? I just need to talk to you about some stuff. You just made 100 videos lying on me. When do we need to get on a phone call? But you know I'm a fan. No. This is what you call fan work.
Oh, man.
This is what you call... I remember there was one time they was putting together stories with receipts and fucking text messages and DMs and they would make it look so real, and I'll take the shit and report on it. And they're like, oh, look, she put out a fake story. She didn't vet it.
Wow.
Bitch, you bitches. Like, y'all had to go through this to prove that I would put out a fake story, but you went through the great lengths to make it look real. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, they're really fans at the end of the day. And I heard I think it was like producers for the Howard Stern show, and they were more worried about the haters than the people that watch. People that watch, they gonna say shit. They're just gonna watch, have a good time. They may leave a little heart emoji. Go, I love you. But the haters, they're gonna comment. They're gonna keep that motherfucking channel going.
Yeah.
Cause they just don't, it takes a lot more passion to hate somebody than it does to love someone. And Howard Stern built his entire career off haters.
That's what makes me so strong. Because it's like the woman that told the dude, like, yo, on some real shit, I'm gonna be the first to tell you, you got a little dick. He hates you now. And for me, I like to bust the bubble of black people.
Yeah.
You know, I like to bust the bubble. And people really, really hate when I sit up there and I say the things like, because I had to learn how to walk like the man or walk in the image of a man, because I ain't seen one. I had to learn responsibility. So the things that I did yesterday, I wouldn't do today. And you can't call me a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because the things that I did yesterday, I'm not doing today. I learned to elevate.
Yeah.
You know, you bring a child in the world, you take care of it.
How many children do you have?
About 150.
Stop it.
I just don't let them know, because they be trying to calculate in between of who's where and what. Yeah, I know y'all still trying to calculate. But for me, my whole thing is, like, when I say I take care of my children, even the baby mothers that I'm not with, because I got baby mamas, I take care of them too. When they get behind in their bills, everybody comes to me. Some of my friends, like, you already know, when we up.
Yeah.
I take care of all the responsibility. So when dudes be sitting up there, like, I know I don't live up and lay up on a woman. I've done it in the past, yes, but when a man mans up, he mans up. And these niggas don't know how to man up. I don't think a man should be asking another man, what are you doing for the community? There is no community. It's man, woman, and child. You lay down with that bitch, you take care of her. Fuck you look like asking another man. A woman can ask, yo, I got a child over here, can we get some help? I'm cool with that. But you being a man, you ain't got no business. A man is not asking another man, what are you doing for the community? Because if every man took care of the responsibility that they push forth in this world, we all be set. I didn't create my kids for another man to take care of or for the community to take care of. I created them for me to take care of. Man, to fuck up. That's what the men need to do. Because if I have to take care of your woman and children, I should be able to fuck your wife. Because you're not man enough to have her.
I just got to sit back on that one.
You see, yeah, I mean, let's be real. It's like, hold up.
He said, say it again. If you what?
if you're not man enough, if I got to take care your child and your woman, then I should be able to fuck her. You don't get a chance to lay in the bed with this woman until you can provide for her. And no, don't ask me what I feel about reparations.
And that's on that. Interview's over. Look. And that is on that part. Listen.
I was a stick-up kid, right? Mm-hmm. We rob you, we don't give back the jury. America robbed us for our land. As men, we supposed to take it back. Stop asking for reparations. That's weak talk.
All right. And we're back. Now, that full 3-hour interview, if you want to watch the rest, it is available on TashaKLive.com. Real quick, okay, we have to interrupt this broadcast for a public service announcement, okay? Just in on the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to Kyle. All right, we just got word that Latto's leopard print panties were removed off of eBay due to health and hygiene violations. Listing almost reached $100,000, okay? eBay snatched her panties off of eBay, okay, for health and hygiene concerns. Apparently, when Latto posted her panties, okay, she said she can't wear them twice. So once she wears them, she's going to auction them. All right. Now, apparently, she says she has about 4 or 5 panties, that of the same pair of panties. And she was going to wear a pair today and then sell them tomorrow. So she didn't even wash the panties. And eBay has confirmed that she didn't wash the panties, and that's the reason why they took them off, because you cannot sell used undergarments on their site. It actually it's a violation of their policy, okay? And it furthermore goes to say that a spokesman from the Play platform, okay, with TMZ, to clarify the reason, apparently eBay has a used clothing policy which prohibits the sale of used underwear for health and hygiene reasons, okay? She should feel real embarrassed, okay? You came up with an idea to auction off your dirty ass panties, okay? And eBay said not today, all right? You are not about to infect our users with whatever it is that is secreting out of your hole. This is not your nail. This is not your hair. It was absolutely disgusting. And with that being said, we are now about to head over to TashaKLive.com. Okay, we will be talking about Sammy, all right, and his mother being charged with murder, as well as a stripper coming out to say that Sammy has apparently paid them to reenact the Blair Witch Project naked. We're also going to be talking about the bodyguard that exposed Beyonce and Jay-Z's alleged secrets, okay? Along with Whoa Vicky. She has submitted a video to us that looks as if Holy Gabbana, someone who we interviewed last month, and claimed that he's a changed man, has admitted in this video that he has hit her and is not sorry for hitting her. Now, you do know that Holy Gabbana Boot Gang, a.k.a. Boot Gang, his mother sat down with us too. And if you've seen that interview, that is available on TashaKLive.com. You guys were very triggered about that interview from Boot Gang's mother, okay? But Whoa Vicky has since submitted audio of Boot Gang admitting to hitting her and not being sorry for hitting her, even after he got saved and baptized and laid on the cross, all right? So we're going to be heading over to TashaKLive.com right now. The show is going to start in 4 minutes, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are not subscribed, please go to the website, TashaKLive.com, and subscribe there. Then you can download the app anywhere, okay? Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Bigo at Unwind with Tasha K. Guys, I really need you to download Bigo, okay? The content that we're showing on Bigo will not be anywhere else, okay? It is going to be BTS footage, behind the scenes, okay? To photo shoots, projects, interviews, all of that, okay? So use my link below, okay? Because it's going to be hard to find me because we're still building our fan base over there. A lot of you are asking me when I'm going live and stuff like that. You guys need to download the link using the link below in the description box. Hit that link. Get on my Bigo, turn your notifications on, and when we're live behind the scenes over there, showing you what it's like to put together these productions, how we build our stories, a lot of great projects that we got going on that are going to be produced and put on the app, that are actually in production, that are going to be put on our private site, TashaKLive.com. You guys will be able to see that unfold, okay? And then the finished project will either come here or TashaKLive.com, okay? And you guys get to interact with me too and ask questions a lot, especially if you have an interest in being in production in any sort of way or entertainment, okay? So I appreciate that. Use the link below. Also, if you want to advertise on my platform, please hit us at business at Tasha K. Hold on for a second. Business TashaK at gmail.com. If you have tips on your favorite celebrities, hit me in the DM at unwindwithTashaK.com. And with that being said, now I gotta go. Bye! Go on to the app.